Action.
Hi, it's Vanessa with Farmgirl Gardens and Market, and today we're doing a chicken compost chat. I've got Miss Judy Garhen with me today in the demonstration self-reliance garden, and we are so excited to have her help us share the joy of composting. So as a Texas S.T.A.R certified environmental educator and master composter, I love compost, and I hope that after this video you'll love it too. One of the ways that we make composting sustainable on our farmstead is by utilizing mechanical composting. In the composting world, there's two types of composting: mechanical, which you're utilizing the work of turning, whether a human or an animal is doing that work, and chemical, where you're utilizing the work of bacteria, either in an aerobic or anaerobic environment, to break down and create a decomposition process. The reason that we utilize so many chickens and worms in our farmstead is because they do the work of mechanical turning for us. And worms and hens are actually a lot more similar than they are different. Worms and hens both have a gizzard, and it's because of that gizzard that they make such great biocarbon converters. They actually need to break down grit, so adding material into a compost bin that worms and hens can manage means that they're staying healthy and happy while creating a product that you can use for your farmstead. I would love to show you our chicken compost in action. Back behind our garden, we have a traditional compost pile, but instead of me having to manage it, we have hens who manage it for us. We talked a little about how hens and chickens are similar, both utilizing their gizzard to break down grit and substrate. In a traditional composting setting, that looks like utilizing the green waste that you produce from your household, whether that's your kitchen scraps, the leftover bits from your lunch bin, eggshells that you used over from breakfast, and even coffee grinds. And when it comes to worms, we use the same types of materials, just in smaller particle sizes. Now there is one exception to that, and that is with coffee grinds versus eggshells. With coffee grinds, this is a grit that is a perfect size for worms. However, it's not a good fit for hens. For hens, they utilize the grit produced from their very own shells. The calcium in this eggshell and the grit in this particle really helps the hen to sit particles inside of her grit that act like teeth and help chew down the food and help her absorb it. And so for hens, you want to stick with their eggshells, and for worms, they prefer the coffee grinds. Eggshells are a little too abrasive for their skin. Other options for feeding your worms are your brown paper shred, anything from cardboard tubes from your toilet paper or household paper use. Banana peels are a great source of potassium. All of our tea drinkers, go ahead and save your tea bags. Take the staples out just so that you don't have to deal with that later on when you're filtering your compost. But everything can be composted in this tea bag. Another unusual thing that people forget to think about is dryer lids. And even human hair is a great source of protein in a compost pile. And of course, let's not forget the amount of green waste we can produce in our kitchen. And sure, all you moms know, there's always just that uneaten stick of grapes that comes back after lunch. Now that I've shown you the types of food that we feed our worms, I want to take you in for a closer look. Now in Texas, I recommend that you use Alabama jumpers. Those are a native worm to our southern hemisphere and can really handle the climate. The red wriggler, or the Acina fetida, is often touted as the composting worm, and while they are a voracious eater and a great worm to work with, in the south they really just can't handle our temperature. So that's why we use the Alabama jumpers. They're called that because they're the most photophobic worm in the composting world. They will literally jump up in the process of trying to bury down to avoid the light. So we're gonna take you in quick and tight and hope that we can catch them in all their glory. These, my friends, are a healthy colony of Alabama jumpers that are eating our green waste so that we don't have a carbon footprint that is outside of our value or have to take the trash out as much as we formerly used to. And as you can see, these guys are happy. They're eating our green waste. They are managing this mechanically by their work of tunneling through the substrate so that I don't have to turn it and manage it daily. And if you go in real close, you'll even see how happy they are. That little yellow lemon looking thing is actually a worm cocoon. And that means that this colony is so happy, they are reproducing, and we will have a clutch of worms hatch in just a few days. Ironically, both the hen and worm require 21 days to gestate. So not only are they both useful in composting, they have a lot of similarities, both in anatomy and species-specific functions. I hope that that has helped share some of the ways that you can compost sustainably, whether you have an abundance of space and can do an open pile, or whether you're a city or an apartment dweller and need something that can either fit in a closet or even a shoebox. And until next time, guys, I'm Vanessa with Farmgirl Gardens and Market, wishing you a happy and sustainable Earth Day 2020. Bye, y'all.